Hi and Assalamualaikum. We are from MSc 22056. We'll be presenting on our group project, which is Performance Management Practice in Public Sector's Organization.
Performance management framework is an essential method for helping companies achieve their objective. In order to improve the critical elements of the organization, which is human capital, both individual skills and contributions and organizational goal calculation are required. Staff are the key component in the performance management framework, where a well-designed system model can result in the strong management engagement and improved performance of the workers that will contribute to the success of the company. The concept of performance management as follows. So start with the performance management is the means by which manager ensure that the activities and result of the employees are consistent with the objective of the organization. Then, the process of creating a work environment or environment in which people are able to perform to the best of their ability is performance management. And as a systematic and interconnected mechanism that delivers sustainable organization progress by enhancing the performance of the people who work in them and developing the capacities of the individual contributions and peers, the performance management system. Also, performance management is a collection of intention policies and procedures intended to preserve or enhance the performance of individual workers and by them, the working group and the organization. There are several performance management initiatives implemented by the Malaysia public. So, here we have the total quality management, which is TQM. TQM can be defined as an attitude towards encourage all members of an organization to constantly seek to enhance the goods or services and the processes involved in the manufacturing them that will satisfy both external and internal customer. Quality was seen by this new management concept as the ability of the features and the characteristic of a product or service to continue to satisfy the demands of the consumer and to meet their needs. Quality management technique such as the quality control circle, which is QCC, were intentionally developed to support the manufacturing sector, which is directly involved in the producing manufactured products, where it is easy to control and evaluate output and quality. Next, we move on to the International Organization for Standardization, which is ISO. It may be used by any organization, large or small, regardless of its area of operation. In the sense of the local government, the adoption of ISO will enable this agency to benefit from other benefits. Key performance indicators, which is KPI, are becoming the government sector's best metric. The government should provide the best indicators for the measuring the performance of government agency in future research by putting some added value into the implementations of the KPI.
Next is main findings and discussion. Barriers in achieving total quality management (TQM). First, top management devotion. In certain cases, top management continue to consider quality as the responsibility of their staff and the Department of Quality Assurance. This will contribute to the failure of the majority of TQM programs. Top management should ensure that everybody from top to bottom within the organization is transparent and aware of the ideas. Number 2, the interpretation of the TQM definition. Quality control system have failed because the quality communications inside the company are not adequately disseminated to the workers. Therefore, the principle of TQM needs to be sufficiently communicated at every level inside organizations from top to shop floor stages. Number 3, the attitude of individual towards transition. It needs a shift in attitudes and belief among civil service employees in Malaysia to introduce TQM successfully. It is therefore necessary to begin the process of gaining commitment to change through the provision of managers and senior managers. Number 4, The working climate is not conducive to the advancement of teamwork. In order to ensure that quality management efforts are effectively implemented, it is important to develop quality assurance teams at the management and shop floor levels. The following advantages that come from working in communities are: number 1, it offers the power to pass decision making. Number 2, it has a huge influence on the scope and depth of expertise of team members. And number 3, it generates the need to disseminate significant knowledge to the team.
Based on our research on ISO, there are 4 barriers in the implementation of the ISO. The first barrier is the lack of cooperation between internal departments in the organizational aspect. The presence of this obstacle is somewhat expected because there is typically an organizational structure for local government agencies consisting of many sub-departments that have their own functions to ensure that a local government agency is able to systematically and effectively deliver all the necessary services. However, the presence of these various agencies has made it impossible for the local government agency to adopt ISO for the implementation of the ISO 9000. The second barrier is the negative view or attitude to quality between society of employees and employees' culture towards quality. If staff have a negative attitude towards the implementation of ISO 9000, employees will start to feel like they are dominated by the machine, therefore they will be unwilling to accept the change. The third barrier is the lack of human resources related to the resource aspect. The existence of this lack of barrier to human resources is a kind of challenge to most local government organizations because they are statutory bodies that need the Malaysian Public Service Department to obtain prior approval before being able to offer new positions in their respective organizations. The capacity of a local government agency to procure more workers is seen to be very limited, combined with the financial constraints that are already part of the issues faced by most local government organizations. Fourth barrier is the lack of involvement, cooperation and commitment from employees under the human aspect. This is because these two challenges, which are the lack of human resources related to the resource aspect and the lack of involvement, cooperation and commitment from employees under the human aspect, would generate the negative action and discouragement within their respective organizations among the employees to be fully involved in the ISO implementation process.
Our third finding and discussion are KPI, which is short form for Key Performance Indicators. The National Registration Department (NRD) is one of the Ministry of Home Affairs departments responsible for documenting for all important events for an individual, such as birth registration, death, adoption, marriage, and divorce. It takes place after the government has given a directive to all participating pilot agencies to start enforcing KPIs on their frontline services. This led to the use of KPI as a performance management tool that was started in the National Registration Department, Pulau Pinang in October 2004. At the National Registration Department, primary performance indicators concentrate on two main aspects. The first one, KPIs to measure the quality and efficiency of the work process in order to provide clients and deliver services. The management would evaluate the effectiveness of the amount of output generated within a given period as expected, while also evaluating the efficiency of the human resource to generate the output in terms of it. On top of that, the reliability of the central mechanism for sourcing and providing customer services is measured in terms of how efficiently and reliably the service is supplied and delivered to customers. By looking at the statistics generated by the management team according to their core business operations, the work process is evaluated. In reality, the management team will come up with the overall application statistics for each of their services. The second one, the satisfaction of the customers is clearly measured in terms of complaints provided in written feedback within a specified period. Legitimate complaints resolved at the level of customer satisfaction obtained through the counter service customer satisfaction form, and also complaints made through personal and phone calls in NRDPP every day at each counter that will have the customer satisfaction form. Generally, whether there is any disappointment or satisfaction with either the behavior of the staff, the quality of services given, or any other problems, the customers need to fill in the form provided. The management team perform a regular check of their reviews via the customer service office. For example, if the customer makes a counter staff complaint, the customer service department will perform the investigation and settle the matter immediately, and if it continues persistently, action will be taken on the respective staff. Thus, the creation of KPIs in this organization also reflects their vision, goal, and aim. As their long-term goal is to become the world's best counter service, the KPIs they use will calculate how reliable and successful the services offered, cover the work process for each counter service, and the level of customer satisfaction based on the agency's services.
As for conclusion, the performance management system is important in addressing the dynamic and the competitive environments, aligns with the goals and objectives of the organization, and is continuously implemented and developed, particularly for the public organization in developing countries, in order to retain the different perspective in measuring performance by using the balanced scorecard, complete with the input on the performance feedback of the employees.
After that, the recommendations for TQM, ISO, and KPI.
Next is TQM recommendation. First, getting top management commitment. The improvement on top management can be accomplished by the following means. A. Addressing the importance of quality at each meeting of managers. B. The organization of seminars on the value of quality, including both executive and senior management within the organization. And C. The publishing in newsletters of articles on quality, especially on effective quality achievements within or outside the organization. 2. The management style transition. The results of this strategy are that it will pass primary quality responsibility to all the people concerned, and therefore increase their dedication to pursuing quality problems within the company. Number 3, relevant courses for education and training. It is essential for organizations to provide their workers with adequate education and training programs to ensure that attempts to improve quality are effective. And lastly, number 4, recognize high performance. Whatever the strategy, understanding the commitment of people can inspire and improve employee interest in the success of their jobs.
Recommendation for ISO is that clear initiatives and interventions should be adapted by the responsible parties to minimize these problems. Continuous neglect would make the government's goal of ensuring the introduction of ISO 9000 quality control system by its agencies will merely become an unfulfilled dream. In order to avoid this issue, more research on the implementation processes of ISO 9000 within local agencies should be carried out, specifically to review the required steps and procedures that should be placed to prevent the challenges faced by the local government. This is to ensure that the quality management system implementation processes can be conducted in a systematic, smooth, and efficient way.
The two recommendations for key performance indicators are: first, looking at public sector organizations' perspective of corporate social responsibility. Secondly, not only frontline departments, but all public agencies need to shift towards a new success and accomplishment paradigm through KPI. That is all from us. Thank you.